Live, okay.
Okay, welcome to Flow State. I'm here with Ben. We're streaming just for the fuck of it. We don't have anything to talk about, but we're just shooting the shit. I was about to ask, what's it like in Israel right now? Are you guys having...
So yeah, I don't know, man. Stuff's popping up everywhere. At first they were able to trace like where it was coming from, but there were tourists that were sick and they traced it to a tourist who just visited everywhere. Yeah. And then I don't know, there was a bus driver that had it and he had a whole bunch of people on his bus. And then,
But
it's just
what's like the social environment there? Because like here, can't find anything at the stores. Businesses are closed, schools are closed.
So yeah, here stores are still open, but like there's like people are like order from outside and then we'll bring it to you and you pay like from outside. They make people line up outside the store, like no one's allowed in the store. And
We started
then
doing that too.
yeah, it's not everywhere, but a couple places are like that. And then a lot of people are getting sort of temporarily canned from their job. Like, we'll give you a job when this is over, but we can't pay you now. Because like there's no work.
Is that organic or is that government mandated?
No, companies are allowed to do that if they're, if they're...
Well, sure, you can lay off people here too, but
yeah, no, it's not a layoff. It's not a layoff. It's a vacation without pay. It's a forced vacation without pay. And basically they can claim, we're forced to pay insurance here on our salary. So you can claim like, I think it's like 50% to 70% of your salary or something like that, based on whatever you're owed for the vacation without pay.
Yeah. Are government offices open? Schools?
No. Schools, offices, all closed. Yeah, same shit.
So you're in like the same boat that we are.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Are people running on toilet paper and hand sanitizer?
No one went crazy like that. Yeah, that stuff's still all available. Yeah.
Do you guys have the same sort of gun laws that we have? Pretty loose.
All right. So here, I don't know if they're loose, but like people walk around with guns here all the time.
There's mandatory military service.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone's trained to use a gun. Everyone can take out a gun. People walk around with guns all the time.
Cool ones too.
Yeah. They have it on their hip and stuff. You need to have a permit for it, and then like when you go into like a government building, you got to check it when you go in. Like you can't walk around with it, but yeah. And then like to take, same thing. You can't have a criminal record to take it out or whatever, stuff like that, right? But yeah. So yeah, and there's soldiers walking around with guns too. I mean,
so here, there's been a run on pistol ammo.
Yeah,
like a motherfucker.
Yeah, you said to me you were out buying 9mm.
No, I was not, because we've got criminal laws too. But I went by a sporting goods store and there were people lined up outside, looking for it.
Well, because like when the zombie corona people start walking around, you're gonna need to shoot them, right?
Well, here's the thing, and so for me personally, I don't think that I'm not really concerned about the virus hitting me or my family, but the economic impacts are already staggering. And that puts a lot of fucking social pressure on people. And I don't know if it was you. I was telling somebody earlier, like already here, and I live in a bad part of town right now, but
you're moving though.
Oh my God, you can hear gunshots going off constantly since.
Are you still moving?
Yeah, we're moving at the end of the month.
And that's still going on? You're still like, there's a moving company, people are still working and stuff?
Oh no, we're moving our own shit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Same town, we're just moving out of the hood into the suburbs. We're not gonna try to weather the end of Western civilization in gangland. It's already hairy here on a good day.
Yeah.
Hi, Winston's mom. Hi, Lin Yin Chin.
Oh, we got comments. How's it going, people?
Yep. But yeah, we're signing a new lease on Saturday at a place in a good part of town. But it's just wild. The everybody's attitude change at work. Everybody's stressed and pissed off. on the streets. People are driving around here shooting at each other, like way more than normal.
Yeah, more than normal. What's the normal amount of driving around shooting at each other?
It's not uncommon for me to hear, gunshots go off a few times a night while I'm outside smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, good time to move, man. You got a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't normally go off during the daytime that much.
That's good, at least.
So,
yeah.
So that's what the ammo is for.
A lady friend of mine in France said that there's a bunch of crack addicts. They kick everyone out of the parks. They don't want people in parks anymore. So all of like the homeless people are like on the street because they used to sleep in parks. And she like recorded them. Like the people called the cops on them. It's just like a group of crack addicts that are swearing at each other, punching each other, whatever. I don't know, causing a ruckus. And the cops come and they start yelling, "We have corona," and they start spitting at the cops. And the cops just drive away.
What did the cops do?
They drove away. Just left.
What are you gonna do with them? That's the other thing. We've got such a huge prison population that there's a lot of talk of compassionate release going around where if you get one germ into a prison, everybody's fucked. And they already don't address people's healthcare needs there as it is.
Yeah. I believe it.
So I can't imagine that any cop is actually bringing in more people. The system doesn't want that burden.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess like if you got to too. I mean,
if
you got to bring someone in, you got to, right?
No, I mean, no. I mean, in theory, but no, in practice.
In theory, yeah.
In practice, the cops don't have any more integrity than the people they're arresting most of the time.
Yeah, no, I definitely believe that.
So, sure. So yeah, I mean, just knowing that people are desperate because they're out of money, the system is not going to address victim. I mean, yeah, that's why nobody's going to shoot the virus, but you don't want to look like an easy target.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too.
But I do think that it'll, what the silver lining is that I think in a post-apocalyptic world, our types are well suited.
Well, okay, I don't think it's going to be that bad, man. Because like like we're really lucky that this pandemic is I don't know, it's so benign. It's not killing that many people. Like it's like it could be much worse. It could have been a much worse virus that's spreading.
It's way more it just seems way more than any of the past scares. Yeah. Bird flu, swine flu, SARS.
Yeah, it's a pandemic. Yeah, it's spread. It's everywhere. No one contained it. You can't contain it anymore. It's going to get out. But I mean, you could still minimize the damage, and eventually it'll go away. We'll develop a vaccine too.
Yeah.
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 And I mean, like it's now the virus is out there. It's your own damn fault if you come close to somebody right now.
I think that basically everybody's just going to get exposed to it at some point. I don't see people being able to isolate thoroughly enough from the outside world for it to completely run its course. Like once a cold's out there, it kind of bops around and hangs out for a little bit. I think it'll plateau, but
but people aren't afraid of the cold. People aren't afraid of the virus. They don't call it a pandemic like the flu, for example. People aren't just like people are still, shaking hands and stuff when there's the flu virus out there. No one's afraid, and people are getting the vaccine. I don't know.
Captain Trips. Fuck! I lost my question.
Oh
well. 3.4% on average and 8% in Italy, and it isn't even maximized yet. Might take out a little over 1/10 of us if it's real.
Yeah.
See, I think its newness is its impactfulness.
Yeah, also for sure. And also, there's a lot of people that have it that aren't reporting it. So like these percentages are off. A lot of people don't even have symptoms. So the percentages are kind of off. It's just on people who've reported it and they've seen that they were sick.
Are you prepping?
And then also, you're right. It's newness. The people that, have it, like it won't be dangerous anymore.
The serious cases of it, we don't know how to address. And nobody's got any sort of immunity to it. So it's just, it's just banging into the medical system in a way that they can't handle. But are you stockpiling any things? Do you have canned food? And
I got some. I'm not stockpiling anything yet. I might start. Who knows? For now, stores are still open.
Yeah, I've done my my canned food runs, and we got a lot of fucking tuna.
I got a bag of cans. I'll get more. I'll go shopping tomorrow or something.
But
I think if they're going to close the grocery stores and stuff, they're going to give out like a notice or something.
They can't do that all together.
Yeah.
It just won't happen. But I don't know. The economic results, that's really what sort of got my attention. Yeah. I'm an econ major and I was a banker. I mean, this is sort of my anyways.
But you also knew that the economy was destined for a collapse anyways.
I know that the Federal Reserve, the central banking system, is systematically fucked off.
Yes.
To its very core. There's no way for that to work long term. I know that globally and on an individual level, debt is, just people are so leveraged.
And debt is what gives money value.
Well, yeah. No. And wars. I think that, in my opinion, the dollar is still worth anything because America is a colonial country. We invade and colonize, and that's how it is. And it's a forced it's a forced international standard to a large extent.
I think it's worth something because other countries are more in debt than the U.S. is. If that's easy to imagine.
Well, are they though? Not all of them.
There's like a huge effort to drive all of the African countries into debt.
Oh yeah, all the smaller third world countries, because that's what we do. We go in, we're going to help you, we're going to build you power plants, we're going to build you water treatment facilities. You got a super low interest rate loan. Here we're basically giving you this money, and then we hook them, and then get them to break a clause and hand over their whatever, their fishing rights, whatever it is that we want out of them. So third world countries are basically in pocket. Africa's in pocket. The further down the sort of conspiracy theory rabbit hole I go, the more I start to wonder if America isn't really in Israel's pocket. But
I wonder the opposite. If Israel is in America's pocket.
Yeah, I mean, it can go both ways. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if we ever will know, but
I think.
But it's a good time to not have any money. If this had happened 3 years ago, I'd be freaking out because all my investments would be gone. But now it's not something I have to worry about.
But it's still nice to have money, man.
Yeah,
it's never good to not have.
Yeah, no, that was a tongue-in-cheek comment.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And I can laugh about it because I've got enough money that it's not actually a struggle. It's just
yeah.
Well,
lots of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Lots of people are in debt. I mean,
most people, I think, are.
Yeah.
And it would be, the percentage of people would be way higher if it's generational. The older generation has some savings to live off, but our age doesn't. We don't have shit. Which is why Bernie Sanders is such an appealing person to so many people.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to get in? You think this is going to help him, this whole thing?
I don't think he will get in.
Did you see that they basically predicted what was going to happen in this paper, like in 2003 or something?
Which paper?
There's like this paper on the. I can send it to you on the.
Send it to me.
On the Chinese wet market, and how like specifically they said about bats and the virus, how it's just only a matter of time before it comes into the human population.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's they? Who wrote that?
It's like it's like a valid academic paper from like 2003.
So
there's also this Netflix documentary that I watched.
But the point of the paper is that this is a risk from what they're doing, and not like a conspiracy theory thing.
No, not a conspiracy theory. No, it's a risk from what they're doing. It's only a matter of time, they said.
I can't buy the coincidence that they just happened to get a bad bat in the place with the only level 4 facility in the country. Like,
the thing is, all of the bats are bad. All of them are bad. All of them have the virus. It just can't get into the human body. Or if it gets in the human body automatically detects it or destroys it. I saw this Netflix documentary about the next pandemic, I guess. It was like a year ago or something. And they basically also pointed right at the Chinese wet market. They said, this is what's going to happen. SARS came from there too. Black Plague came from there too.
Black Plague did.
Yeah.
So why would it be able to do it this time then?
It's just a chance. Every time the blood mixes with two animals, there's a chance that the virus will be able to take on the properties of both animals. And when it does that, then it can enter the humans. Well, not enter the humans. The human body can't detect it. It can't detect the protein, and it can't detect the cell wall. Yeah.
I still think that's a cover up.
Yeah, sure. You're allowed to think that, man.
And I guess I don't know enough about biology to know if that's a valid thing. But one thing I really am reading into Trump's fucking snide attitude about it being, the Kung flu or whatever. I don't think he's just being Trumpy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't say I really ever saw what he was saying about it.
Oh, he's been saying things. He's been like calling it that. He just, when he's making addresses, he is kind of snarky to China. That Chinese,
yeah.
But
like China had the virus for like a month or something. I don't know, a few weeks at least before they admitted that they had it, and before other countries started getting it.
Like, I think they had it way longer. Okay, so my ex-wife's brother and I are still friends, and I was kicking it with him a couple nights ago. He and his whole family have already had it. They got it in December.
Oh wow!
Outside of Cincinnati, and at that time nobody knew what it was. The whole family got wiped out. Like, just they went to visit his girl's parents for Christmas, and they delayed their return by 2 weeks. The hospital didn't know what it was. Everybody survived. No doctors knew what it was. After the fact, they found a news article that said, hey, if you were in this place during this time and you got sick, you probably had it. So,
wow.
I think it's been here a minute. Who knows? I might have had it.
Yeah.
So
I might have had it too. I had symptoms. I don't know what it was. I didn't have a fever. I measure myself every day. But so I'm still being careful.
I never take my attempt. I'm SI ignoring. I just don't do that shit.
I don't do it either. I had to go and buy a thermometer because my boss at work said, dude, you look sick. Buy a thermometer and don't come to work.
Yeah. I don't know that when I get sick, I don't notice it for about 2 or 3 days. Katie knows I'm sick before I do, and I did not. And coughs, for me to get a cough, that's not a super uncommon occurrence.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, anyways, I went to buy the thermometer and I measured it and I took a picture and sent it to my boss. I was like, I'm coming to work tomorrow.
Oh, here, I got a question here for you. You said,
Oh yeah, I saw that. Sorry.
I don't know what that means.
No, it's just there's like a scroll on the doors where you go into it when you come into a door. There's like a scroll on the door that it's not even it's not something you have to do. It's just people usually just touch it and kiss it. But like if other people are always kissing it, yeah, then they're gonna get past it. But you don't. People have stopped doing that now. It's not mandatory. It's not something. It's just something people like to do. It's not like, yeah, it's a habit, I guess. People do.
White people are amazing nodes of.
What the hell?
I don't know. The more he leaves enough comments that they start to make sense.
Okay.
in a weird way. At first I didn't have a clue. And then over time I started getting it. And
all right. Awesome. Leave some comments on my channel, man. Come hang out with me.
Check out Ben's channel. It's good shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just clicking things because they're big. I got some catching up to do. Bacterial evolution is so fast. It's a virus. Does alcohol kill viruses? Hand sanitizer won't do anything for it, will it?
No.
No.
Hand sanitizer will a little bit, I guess. Yeah.
A little bit.
Like it'll clean it from your hands. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe that the US government is telling people not to buy up not to hoard the hand sanitizer instead of telling people like, hey, this isn't the thing.
I don't know. Maybe if they cause panic and hysteria about hand sanitizer, then everyone's gonna, be using it, and then
I think it's just group placebo.
Yeah, that could be too. Yeah.
Trump is referring consistently to the coronavirus as Chinese flu. Then someone in the White House called this Kung flu. Our country has a history of using racial slurs. Know your audience. That's okay.
Kung flu. That's funny. I like that.
It's funny. The thing is, and the racial thing is a valid point. In the scheme of what's going on right now, I'm having a really hard time getting offended.
Yeah. No, yeah,
like,
sure.
Or feel like anyone, you know what? Let it go. Now's not the time to indulge butthurt.
But honestly, like China should have known they should stop eating bats. I think just don't eat bats anymore. That's a good rule in China. No more bats.
You can't possibly.
Like, yeah, really.
Have you seen pictures of those wet markets?
I have. Yeah, it's disgusting.
They got it's really gross.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, I'm losing all my questions. I had an objective personality question too.
Oh yeah, we can talk about type. That's cool.
I am trying to figure out how directly I want to approach.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm trying to find a back door here real quick.
Right. So what about that SE definition that we're figuring out? You're on board with it?
Let's work through it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't figuring it out. I was catching up. For feminine SE.
Oh no, I mean like just for SE in general. You really helped me. You really pointed me. Like I had a definition for SE from my perspective, from when I saw SE, and then what I'm doing is I'm going to all of the people using it as their dominant function, and I don't think anybody anywhere would say you're not using SE. Like you are the poster child for SE.
I know. I'm an SE dom in every system.
In every system. Yes. Yes. So you are the authority, undisputed authority of what SE is, and you can define SE however you want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go cross-check it with other SE users, but like I'm going to always bring it back to you. I'm going to bring it back to you and be like, is this still SE?
So do you think the SE, from Ben's perspective, does it have, how much is force and assertiveness and aggression part of it? No.
None. Nothing. Has nothing to do with force, aggression, assertiveness. Nothing. No.
Do you think that SE DOMs or SE egos tend to be more assertive than others?
They can be if they want to, for sure. Yeah. They're living in the moment.
If it's not associated with it, what is that?
It's a result. It's not a cause. It's something that ends up happening to SE users. It's a way you can maybe catch them or spot them, but it shouldn't fit into a definition of what SE is, because you could have an SE user that isn't playing that game, that isn't into the force. Especially when you go to talk to feminine SE. Masculine SE is into the force, right? No problem. Feminine SE is not into the force.
That was something I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Describe feminine SE to me, because I don't know.
It's really hard. It's really hard. But I took your definition to a feminine SE.
Okay.
And he refined it. He changed it. He changed your definition. And I came back to you. You're like, you know what? That change doesn't affect me. Whatever he changed is fine. It's the definition's still right. So I mean, whatever he changed, you guys are still on the same page of what SE is.
But how is feminine SE different? How does it appear different from masculine?
It just doesn't have that element of force.
Do we know anyone in common?
Nah, I don't think so. And if we did, you would probably think they're SI, or I don't know. They might think they're NE or something.
I wouldn't recognize it.
Yeah, you wouldn't recognize it as SE. But okay, so I'm going to do a double interview with you and this guy, and you can tell me, I don't know, he might not be SE. All this feminine stuff might be BS. You might not recognize it. He's also, they typed him as SE-FE, for example. So that's completely not ESTP, right? Imagine just using your FE instead of your TI as your second function. That's crazy.
Sounds stressful.
Yeah. So I know, he's feminine SE, but he completely. I asked him a definition, and he completely agreed with your definition, and he tweaked it. He changed it, and he made it better, in my opinion. And you were like, it's the same thing.
Did you you liked the tweak?
So I saw I'm not so deep into SE that I can see that little nuance, right? It's something that only someone who's deep into SE can see. This nuance will work or won't work, because my definition fell short. I missed the whole lucidity angle that you gave, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm really glad I came to you with the definition, and you improved it 100%. And then this guy, he also did a change that, I didn't have a problem with. I know I'm using SE, and you didn't have a problem with. You're using SE, and it's feminine SE. But he doesn't have the force, and it's the same, and the definition's the same for both of you.
Yeah. I thought for me, it was interesting that I actually did not care at all about that.
Yeah.
Normally I care. I normally have some sort of an opinion on something.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And it's
do you want to show it up, or are we still refining this?
Oh, the definition that we have so far? Sure. Yeah. How do I show it up? I gotta.
If you want to type it in the comments or copy and paste it down there, I can.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do that. Can you? Yeah. Just drop it down.
Yeah.
There.
I'll just copy and paste.
Pop it up. So anybody watching, we've been talking sort of back and forth. He's working on refining his understanding of what SE is, and
so I'm doing the same thing for all the functions, not just SE.
Right.
How do I put it in the comments? I got to go to YouTube or something?
I guess, or message it to me or something. I don't know. Find some way to get that text to me again.
Yeah, I'll put it into YouTube.
YouTube, Mike, you're right, which has surprised me, because you'd think there's a lot of people sitting at home ready to YouTube.
Hey, look, you're doing a live stream, man. Do you know that? That's what it says on my link.
And views have been dead too. I haven't had I've been spending way more time on YouTube lately, but
yeah,
my views low average, and to have 3 people watching at 9 o'clock on a Thursday, this is super low. Last night,
I had low today too. Yeah,
Last night, Katie and I were low. I just assumed that was because we went on late at night. But no, it's just like volume's down, which is weird to me. I would expect the opposite.
So you can click on it.
Okay, there it is.
So he did that present circumstances thing. This is what he added. So SE wants to know what's going on around you in the present circumstances of your life, where you're at, what house you're in, where you're moving, like all of the current things going on. You want to be responsible for that.
Right. And
right now, coronavirus too.
Coronavirus. What are you drinking?
It's just a bad beer. It's cheap. Beer is beer, though.
Beer is beer.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good definition. I think socionics definition. I'm not a hater of many systems, right? But I I like socionics, and from what I know, I like OP. I don't know enough yet, but it looks really good to me from what I do know.
OP is not a system.
Because what?
It's just not, OP is not a system. That's all it is. It's just not a system. It's not claiming to be a system. It isn't a system.
What is it?
It's a way to type people. That's it.
But it's a system in that it has its own definitions. It's not structurally different.
Yeah, it has the definition how to catch type, how to type.
So it's how to. They're not, so they don't see that. So OP doesn't see itself as refining or changing anything.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all they're doing. They're trying to figure a way to objectively type someone so that it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you know the system, both of you will get the same type in different rooms.
What they're doing is pure TE.
Pure TE. Yeah. Pure TE.
But they trip into TI in order to get the TE. They end up
a little bit. They have advisors in TI and stuff like that help them.
No, but I mean the fact that, like, look at the animals or the masculine, feminine, like they're adding TI structure in order to feed the.
But it's so weird how they do it. So they don't do it because, hey, we figured out like the structure of what's happening. They do it because they're just trying all kinds of stuff to get the same type. They're like, what if we add masculine and feminine? And they add it and they're like, hey, we're getting closer to the same type. That means there must be something here. It's just really weird how they came out to it. And like the more stuff they added, the more accurate they were getting on the same type.
But to get that, the effectiveness in typing, right? To make the tool, they have to create the structure. You can't say it's not a system. It's just a method, because they're adding to the system to have a method.
Right. Yeah. So, but the system. Okay. So the system. All right. So what comes first? Am I going to make a system and then I'm going to go and type people with the system? Is that what I'm going to do?
Well,
or am I going to go to type people and I'm going to have to make a system so that I can type people better?
It doesn't keep matter updating the system first. It doesn't matter what comes first. Well, but to deny its systemness, you can't do that. Like, it may not have been the intention or the purpose. It may be a byproduct, but it's still nevertheless.
I like that. But one of the things OP does is it says, okay, everyone's doing everything. The question is always what comes first, right? What's the difference between TE, TI? What's the difference between FI, TE? It's what comes first. Because like you're going to use NI. You're going to use NI amazingly well. But what are you going to do first? You're always going to go to the ST first and then the NI after. It's always about that. What comes first? And so here, the same thing. What comes first? We want to make a system to type. We don't want to make a system. We want to type people. The system will come because we're trying to type people. That's how the system comes and occurs. And it seems TI because it's coming after. The TI is coming after. For a TI user, they would make the system first and then go to type. And like that's just the difference. That's just how it came. And it's just, And like, I don't know if the system's right or wrong or whatever, but they're able to type people, which means now, once they're typing people, once they're able to say, this guy's SE, this guy's NI, I can go to you and be like, hey, can you help me figure out this definition of what SE is? And I can go to someone who's a feminine SE, and you'll see the same exact definition, and you'll be like, I'm going to tweak this thing that doesn't bother you, strangely enough, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like now I'm doing the work to build a system to get the definitions, but like they've already done the work. The system's already in place. It's just the definitions are coming now, not first. Backwards. It's crazy.
Yeah, I like I said, if the new normal lifestyle for a little bit leaves me with more spare time, I'm probably going to sign up for the classes and actually give it the headspace that it would need.
Yeah, it's not flawless. They're not perfect. They've got errors. They've got issues.
I wouldn't
they
expect
mistype people. Yeah,
I would never expect that from anything.
Yeah,
these are fundamentally, and ultimately, they're subjective.
Yeah.
And God, I don't mean to trigger that fucking thing, but
or you do. Maybe you do.
Maybe it's Freudian stuff. But yeah, you can't have, and nor would I ever expect a perfect system. And anyways, it seems cool. It seems like, it looks to me like, socionics, in my perspective, has always been by like just dicks and balls better than other like MBTI stuff, in my opinion. And now as I'm watching Objective Personality evolve, it seems like it's really narrowing that margin from what I can see, and also validating each other. The two look like they validate each other's findings a lot to me. I don't get the conflict.
Yeah, no. And I think also OP, if they saw, like if Dave and Shan saw, hey, Socionics has something here, they'll take it. It's ours. Like, why does it belong to Socionics if it's true?
For sure. And they should take it. Did they take Quadras?
You know where they took a huge thing from Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins just he figured some thing out, and there's some typology system that Tony Robbins has, just four types of people, and they're like, this is sort of mapping to MBTI. Let's take it. Let's use it. And that's like the backbone of their system. Not dangerous. No, we're in Israel. Well, okay. Well, I don't know. There's no rockets now. We're good. But like where I'm at, there are rockets sometimes. But it's not dangerous. I don't know. Depends what you define.
It must be bad shots then.
Yeah. I mean, the chances of them actually hitting you is low.
That's kind of how I feel about like the drive-bys and shit around here. Like, there's bullets flying around, but I'm not as stressed.
Yeah. Well, there's rockets flying around, and then we've got the Iron Dome to shoot down a couple of them. Like, it's not financially viable. It costs like way more to shoot down a rocket than to shoot a rocket. But
okay, where were we now? Well,
I like your plastic cup. It's like dorm room beer cup.
I like plastic. I like disposable shit. And now that we've got a catastrophe going on, I've got a shitload of it, and I don't have to worry about like a bunch of dishes cluttering things up, or about hearing like, you already have a glass, like I don't have to deal with that shit. Or like if you're not sure if the cat got too close and maybe there's like a hair in your cup or something. I don't know. I got some weird
SE. Yeah. No. Yeah, that's SE. I got that too. Yeah.
Do you?
Oh yeah, that's SE. Yep. Definitely.
I dropped earlier today in the Flow State Facebook group. I dropped a video. Dr. He's like a therapist or psychiatrist or something, and he was talking about disgust proneness in context of Big Five personality type.
No.
Could you hear that? You probably couldn't hear. Damn.
Gunshots?
That was yeah. Close. But did you know there are different types of disgust?
No, I didn't.
Are you familiar with? Okay, so I don't know. There are. So I personally am. After listening to this, it really all fit together and made perfect sense. I'm super squeamish about certain things. If somebody and I have pathogen sensitivity. Once you described it, I'm not squeamish about eating weird foods. I'm not squeamish about sex. I'm not squeamish about any of the other things that people get squeamish about. It's just stuff that looks like it's like rotting or contagious, or like if people have pus, the pink eye or whatever,
smell or something. Like smells sometimes make me feel like I'm puking or something.
Or if you shake someone's hand and it's like their palm is all sweaty,
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, shit like that. I just can't stand. I'm real squeamish about just kind of that niche of things.
I had some weird things I was squeamish about. So like if you go in the sea and you get like seaweed stuck to your leg, I hated that feeling.
That's uncomfortable. That is though.
It's like gross. Yeah.
I don't like
it's all slimy and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unpleasant. And so is the texture of cottage cheese.
All right. Yeah, I can see how you can be squeamish for that. I personally wasn't. I had this weird thing too with like a certain kind of cherry that was kind of gross on the inside. I don't know why. It was kind of weird texture.
Were they the maraschino or the red ones?
I don't know, but I when I was really young, when I was like young, but I looked inside, I was like, it looks like there's spit in here. I don't want it. It like felt like spit too. It's like slimy when you ate it. I don't know. Didn't like it.
But yeah, he goes through. So there's these types of disgust, which was fascinating because it really explained why I was squeamish. And it's always been sort of a thing like, oh, you're so squeamish. Oh my God, is this not bothering you? That's sort of a dichotomous thing to hear about.
I'm gonna check it out. It's on your flow state group.
Yeah, it's in the group.
I'll check it out. Yeah.
And then he goes through the Big Five model and into the different aspects of each trait as well, and correlates all of them to people's propensity to being disgust sensitive. And
cool.
And it is fucking nuts because he nailed like being pathogen sensitive was exactly correlated with my personality profile on the Big Five down to the individual component level is fucking weird.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I even know what I am in the Big Five. I've been tested a bunch of times. I just don't remember. It's not like it doesn't help me. I don't know.
There is something less satisfying about it. I don't know.
Yeah. I've never used it in any circumstance in my life.
Because you don't know what your results are getting compared against necessarily. You don't have a good contrast or
it's compared against the general population. Like, okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm on a spectrum with some people on this one thing based on how I answered the question and based on how they answered the question.
Are you agreeable or disagreeable?
Yeah, probably agreeable.
Are you?
I hate it. Yeah, I hate it, but I'm probably agreeable. Yeah.
I gotta get serious.
You're probably disagreeable, yeah?
I'm super disagreeable. I'm like the 100th percentile. Although,
so here's the thing: I was probably disagreeable until I started learning my FE a little better. Now
I've gotten actually marginally less disagreeable over time. I think the first time I took it, I was in the absolute 99th percentile of disagreeability, and now I'm at like the 94th percentile of disagreeable.
Yeah. Well, like also if you test yourself, no one's disagreeable. Come on, unless you're honest.
I was honest.
And who's honest?
I mean,
who's honest?
If I get shitbag results, I'm not telling people like fuck that shit. It's probably wrong and fucked up.
I think maybe if I'm honest, I'd probably get disagreeable, depending on like if they're asking questions about what do I feel like answering to idiots, then I'll be disagreeable. But it's like, what do I actually answer to them? Yeah, I'm agreeable.
That's why I asked, because ISTPs are like not you're not attacking, but certainly not compliant either.
No, yeah. No, and especially with the EP sort of vibe as well, where it's like, don't control me, bro, sort of thing. There's that going on too. Yeah. Not as much as like ESTPs, not as much as you, but still a little bit towards that direction. Yeah.
It looks almost as much to me. It's just not as, it's more patient.
Yeah.
He's more patient.
So that's something that OP tracks too. Yeah, it's all EPs are kind of a little bit like that.
What, impatient?
I don't know about impatient, but like, don't control me.
Oh yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
So have you seen correlations between the two systems?
So okay, so I'm not an expert in socionics or anything like that, right?
Right.
I learn a little bit every so often. I know what the shapes mean, like the weird. Why would they pick shapes? I don't know. I can't talk about FE. I got to talk about, triangle or square.
Yeah, I just skip
L shape. Yeah,
I skip right over the shape, and I also don't ever use intentionally. I don't use the socionics 4-letter acronyms.
Oh my god!
Because
the 3-letter, you mean, or the 4-letter?
No, I don't use the 4-letter ones. I always use the 3-letter ones, because if I say SLE, people know what I'm talking about. If I type ESTP with a little p, nobody knows what the fuck happened, or if it's a typo or what. I'm just not doing it. They're too similar.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't know. Neither one of us maybe knows enough to actually confidently put the two, connect the two.
Right.
I think that like the masculine feminine seems to have similar components to the positive or negative, as does, you pointed out, static and dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both are splitting a function into different manifestations.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. There's lots of similarities. I've seen lots. And then the other thing is, like, I figured out similarities just by trying to systemize it myself, because like it's not systemized the way they teach it. They teach it how to type. So I tried to make a little systemization of it. So I did like a little diagram, and I ended up drawing out the quadras. And
do they use quadras?
They don't use quadras, but I ended up drawing out the quadras to make it systemized, and it actually maps really nicely with and I didn't even know that's what it was. I didn't know socionics. But then when I went to, like, I made a video about the map I did, and then someone's like, hey, by the way, that's quadras and socionics. I was like, oh, okay, let's go check that out. I was like, yeah, it's a thing. So I mean, like, there is agreement between the two, and I don't know, quadras is a thing, man.
Quadras is a fucking great thing. When I type people, it's the first thing I look for. You can just sort of smell out a person's quadra values. At least I can, quicker than I can identify a specific function most of the time.
Yeah, the thing is, the question is, is everyone going to stick to it, or can they be taught to not be quadra values, or I don't know.
I mean, I'm a big believer in I believe in nature over nurture, and research supports nature over nurture because they've done a lot of twin studies, and I don't remember the specifics, but it was something like, by the time somebody reaches 22 years of age, or maybe it was 24,
yeah,
their personality is who they are, is the result, is a 0% result of their parenting.
That's exactly what OP is always saying. And I've never 100% agreed with it. I've always sort of like been like, okay, like this is an opinion. Okay, sure, I get it. But like consistently, they're always saying there's no % nurture, all nature.
0 nurture.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
The nurture will give you what you know, but not at all who you are. And they have done lots. Dave and Chan didn't pull that out of the air. They've done a lot of twin studies.
And so what they say is the only thing that nurture can do is not going to change your functions. It's not going to change your dominant type. What it'll do is just change your growth mindset and maybe how far along you've grown in your I don't know, inferior function or something like that.
What do you mean by growth mindset?
Like am I stuck? Like fixed mindset is someone who's just stuck, who's not trying to change, who's just, not trying to get to his inferior function, just being like, I'm going to use my dominant function my whole life, maybe a little bit of my tertiary and my auxiliary, and then I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to ignore my inferior. And that's fixed mindset. Someone whose growth mindset is someone who's accepted, hey, I got an inferior, I got to work on it, I got to get closer to it, and putting in the work and putting in the effort. Yeah. So that can change with nurture, but nature, no. So, okay, so I'm going to answer this question if I can. My brother is actually really into astrology. He's into also the Jewish side of astrology. I don't know, whatever. I'm not too much into it. But he tells me that it does line up with typology a lot. There's lots of things in astrology that lines up. I'm not. I don't know. I don't believe in that. Sorry.
You should have him on sometime, or you should me. I don't know if you don't want to.
I could, yeah.
Astrology is pretty woo.
It does. My channel's not woo woo though. I'm not woo.
No, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you don't want to introduce the woo woo to your channel.
Well, I do have woo woo. I do have all kinds of woo woo stuff, but it's all like demystified. It doesn't stay woo woo. I think there's lots of truth behind woo woo stuff. I think they're on.
I believe in woo woo. I don't like having an astrology person on an astrology episode. I don't know if that's the sort of headline space I would want.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, I don't give a fuck because I do whatever I want on my channel. But I
do whatever I want on my channel.
Right. You actually had a purpose, I guess, to it.
Yeah.
Which I guess is doing TI. That was not.
But I mean, I'm not against I interview people for type and stuff, and I'm not against them talking about astrology. Like if that's what they want.
Right.
Go for it. Yeah. I know your type. We're talking about type, and you want to relate it to astrology. Have at it.
Thought it would contaminate the integrity of stuff.
See, the thing is, they could be right in astrology, and if they want to put their ideas forward and have them challenged and have them talked about, then yeah, I'm all for it. But yeah, you're generally, I'm not going to go out and look for astrology people to come on my channel, but I mean.
The only use I've ever had for astrology is it's really a great way to start talking to a girl, or just kind of what's your type? If you just go there, half of girls will pick it up and run with that for you.
Yeah, I've never actually used that tactic, but
okay, it's super easy.
All right,
it's like a lazy tactic. It's like, oh. If you get the hunch that she's probably that sort of girl, just diverting it to astrology and letting her take that and go with it. It's and
I'm just not agreeable enough to let that happen. Sorry, man.
You give too many fucks about the TI. I've got a goal here, and I did also do some. I ran some tests though because I've claimed that I was different astrology types, and no matter what I claim, mostly there were some, but about half of them I could claim, and my response is, "I knew it." Okay, so
yeah.
No, don't bring the Captain Planet shit into it.
Is that what you're calling it? You're so etsy, man.
Like this is a fresh C.S. Joseph concept in my head. And anytime he does something new and stupid, people tell me. And his new thing is he's related each one of the perceiving functions to one of these elements. And I started watching the video, and I couldn't get anywhere without hearing the Captain Planet theme song in my head, because he keeps telling about what's earth and wind and fire, and it's just fucking silly. I mean, he just keeps wrapping garbage around typology.
I mean, okay, so you could say it's water is liquid, air is gas, earth is solid, and then fire is energy. Sure. That lines up with physics. So I mean, like, it's an ancient way of saying that. I can get that.
But it doesn't do anything to enhance typology.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
because you can force place correspondence doesn't mean it's in any way useful or beneficial.
I don't want to throw that out, but like I would tend to agree with you for sure. But maybe one day there might be an aspect of that. Who knows?
That's just your any. You just don't know. And
yeah, it's my polar any.
Yeah, and I could always be wrong, but I don't see any.
I don't see it either. I would tend to agree. I would bet more on your side. But
and here's the thing: over time, he's added to his system, and it keeps getting weirder and weirder. And I don't know if you pay attention or know what I'm talking about, but
yeah, no, I'm not.
Purposes and weapons. I think betas have the flaming sword of truth as their weapon, which is just fucking. I just can't even listen to that shit. I can't.
I made a post like that on Facebook. I was like, "Hey, let's do an imagination thing. Let's think of each function and what the function has as its champion and what its superpower is and what its magical weapon is." And it was like just a fun post as a joke.
Okay,
I would never come up with it on a video.
This is his system, and it keeps evolving, right? Like, so the first time I saw something like that sounded like it was out of a Magic, the Gathering game that he was applying, I thought, this is a stupid caveat, but he's made lots of stupid caveats before. But I don't know, the last few months it just seems like he's I don't know, it's just evolving into something that looks like a Lord of the Rings novel, and it's just so weird and absurd that I don't even feel any obligation to address the fact that, for instance, he absolutely butchers quadras to fucking death.
Yeah.
But the whole system has gotten so wonky that it's just like, you know what? If people think that the flaming sword of truth is real, who am I to try to bust them out of that mindset?
Yeah.
I'm just a man.
The thing is, like, I could see how you could use that. I don't know. It could be a useful concept, I guess, for an any user to use that kind of thing.
If you need to clarify something, right?
Yeah.
But to muddy the waters by adding all
for sure.
Yeah, it's just
yeah. It's like using Winnie the Pooh to type someone. It's the same sort of thing.
Who would do that to society?
Who would do that to society? Who would use Winnie the Pooh to type someone?
Stop it. I'm trying to be nice. Like, look. I'm Poland here, or whoever the neutral country was. I'm Sweden.
Poland.
Whichever fucking European country.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. One of those countries.
Yeah.
In Europe somewhere. They were neutral. Yeah.
Right. That's their claim to fame, is neutrality. Freud's horse. And so
named id. Well, I think mind, body, spirit, and soul are actually talking about things. I don't know if like they're real things. But they're talking about something.
I think spirit and soul are probably the same thing.
I could see how they might be different. You would divide them. Like mind makes sense, body makes sense.
And I would think the mind is like part of, I don't know, the whole. Like your mind is your brain, right? But thinking isn't who you are. Actually, people think too much. That's
Also, what do you mean by thinking? I've found that every single type has a different meaning by thinking.
Actively processing or refining or working out information.
Right.
I want to say, like sort of talking to yourself. I don't really talk. I don't have much of an internal monologue. I don't
Me
think
neither.
verbally, but I
Me
think for a
neither.
lot of people, that is how they do. I think for
Yeah.
most people, that's probably how they do.
Yeah. So the same thing, like you're thinking. I've found that any people, when they're talking about thinking, they're talking about any. They
Uh,
have any thoughts. I don't
I
know.
guess I would probably think of thinking in more a TI manner, but
Exactly. But what if you don't have TI?
hmm.
If you don't have TI, then what's thinking for you?
Well, people who are TI polar confuse thinking with feeling, and
Yeah, I'm wondering. Like, okay, so they've got TE. Is that thinking?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But and
But like I've noticed that any DOMs will consider any as thinking, as
mental
thoughts.
process when you're actively doing processing, right? As opposed to
Yeah.
you're just like being there without being in your head. It's like
Yeah.
conscientiousness or being present versus being in your head. I do think there's a very somewhere that I can't define. There is a clear distinction between when you're thinking for people and when you're engaging.
Right.
Was that a conclusive right, or was that a right? You like said right and then looked up like you were still not sure.
I'm
That
still processing. Yeah, I'm still not sure. Yeah, yeah. I'm still wondering. Yeah.
uh,
I
I mean, so for example, thinking is why so many intuitive that I talk to have issues, especially younger men have issues with girls. They're overthinking the fuck out of it. They're not
yeah.
being when they approach a girl, they're not engaging, they're not actually engaging the person. They're running drills in their fucking head, and the interaction is a secondary process.
Yeah, I get your point. That makes sense. Yeah. Um I just don't I'm wondering like if that's all girls or not, because like I guess a certain I don't know. Some girls like the thinking part. I don't know.
But the thinking it's like an anxiety thing.
Oh, like overthinking, over planning.
Yeah, overthinking.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's not attractive.
Because it detracts from your ability to actually interact in what you're doing. You're not engaging the person fully.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
So that mindset can be applied to all of life. People can not be engaging life because they're thinking about things, or
Yeah.
I
I
plot.
mean, like
If I'm overthinking,
like
if I'm stuck in my head, I'm plotting.
right. Yeah, yeah, I get that. But like you can sit there and be thinking about something and not paying attention to your woman, and she'll still be into you. Right?
Just gets pissed off because she knows it.
What?
If I'm not paying attention, you're talking about like when you're start over again with that. What you just
When
said.
you're like thinking about something, right? And you're not in the moment, you're not present. That happens sometimes.
Right.
Even for you. Yeah.
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 But if we're
But I
interacting,
mean that's not a turn off. What you're talking about is like over planning, overthinking what you should do, like unconfidence, not being confident, not being
right. And I think that that's the end product of the mental instinct to just be over crunching up there. People do too much.
Yeah. I think too much. I know that too, but not in that respect. Not when I have to do something.
Yeah, and I would
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you're doing something, I mean, your brain isn't distracting you from what you're doing. It would appear to me that you would think in a complementary way to what you're doing in the world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. In the moment. Yeah.
a lot of people think in a distracting way.
Yeah.
Or a
Yeah.
non.
I was told that once, like in a situation where like I acted quick, sort of thing.
Mhm.
I reacted quick to the situation, and they're like, "Hey, that's a skill to react quick." I was like, "What do you mean it's a skill? Doesn't everyone just like know how to react in a
Oh
situation?"
my God, people don't. That's what
Yeah.
that's what I thought too. The first time I ever had
Yeah.
a crisis situation, can't believe how many people actually freeze. People actually fucking freeze.
Yeah. They freeze.
Don't
Yeah.
do
What
that.
is that?
Don't do anything. Don't do that. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't relate to it, so I don't know how to explain that or describe it. But
Yeah. Yeah. I freeze when I run into maybe like a moral situation where I'm like, all right, what's the right thing to do here? I have no idea.
yeah, and that's the vulnerability to TI DOMs that I can exploit is
Yeah, exactly.
timing.
Yeah.
You can push the timing faster than the accuracy can go.
Right. Yeah.
And TI DOMs always got that FE down there. So they really want to have, yeah. It's
Yeah.
a corner I can wedge y'all into if I need to. It's a dirty corner.
Right.
But it's a corner.
All right. Well, if you do that, it's fair. If I deserve it.
I haven't had to do it to you, but my mom's. I don't know what type my mom is, but she'll do that. She can do that thing with TI where she takes a bit longer to process things, but she'll cut through the bullshit. She'll get through the bullshit eventually. So if I ever was, kind of in a pinch with her, like, I might be in trouble right now, I'd have to kind of blitz her with excuses and information and everything and get the fuck out of that situation before she could cut away all the bullshit I just fed her. Then by the time we revisit it, like things have cooled off.
Yeah. 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 But I mean, like, just keep in mind, though, someone could do the same thing with your NI if they wanted to.
Oh, for sure. But
Yeah.
explain what that would look like.
I have no idea what that would look like. I haven't thought about it enough, but now I'm going to start thinking. If you ever mess with my feelings. What do you think it looks like?
I
Get
don't
you
know.
stuck. You get stuck on something. There's got to be something you get stuck
Okay.
on sometimes.
Well, because the first thing is TI is too precise to be fast.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a trade off there. So, information overload. The FE part's just a bonus, really. Really, what it is it's overwhelming the key facet of TI, which is accuracy.
TE does that too. It overwhelms the TI.
Yeah. So, what would overwhelm SE then, or
SC is what overwhelms SI.
SE over? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know that you could do that back.
To overwhelm you, no.
You can't fire hose SE.
No. But I mean, maybe the opposite. We can bore you to death.
Whitman's mom. How could, if you've been paying attention, give us what that would look like pushback on me. How would you kind of stop SE?
Yeah, we could bore you to death. SE gets bored really easy.
Oh my God. Yeah, we have to do like lockdown here. That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
And I'm not just I'm not being funny. Boredom is a problem for me. If I'm bored, that's when I do all the worst things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hey, what's up, Neil? I got high up in the comments. Freezing is a prayer response. Yeah, that's not it.
Yep.
Okay, well, I don't know if she's still listening to answer that question. She's not with us at all. Anyways.
But like, yeah, TI is not so bad at figuring stuff out, but like, as long as you don't ask me what's more important than what, like, if I had to save an old lady on one side and then my best friend on the other side, and I'd be like, what do I do?
Really?
Like, well, TI can't figure it out. What is TI going to do to that?
Doesn't it make TI sense though that that people are social? Since we're social creatures, we have a social there, and there's a structure to that, right? We're not just equally socially applied to everyone. It logically makes more sense that you would choose your friend over that old lady.
Yeah, that's good FE, man. That's how FE will help you, or FI.
But it also is logic.
Well, so like an FI wouldn't make that argument, right? An FI would be like, okay, well, I like my friend better, so I'm going to save him, right? You use the social argument, right, for logic.
Right. Well, it gives it structure.
Yeah, exactly, which is great. You got FE. I don't. So like I would lock up. But now that you've taught me that, then maybe I would be like, okay, now my TI can sort of figure it out more.
Have you played those little riddles where it's like there's a train track, there's a runaway train, and if you don't do anything, it's going to hit 6 people and kill them all. But if you push a big fat dude off of the platform, he'll block the train, and you pushed him off and he dies, and he wouldn't have died otherwise, but the 6 people on the track live.
Yeah.
Does that fuck with you?
Yeah, completely.
Oh.
TI can't figure that out.
Oh.
TI has no idea what to do.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Like I obviously know maybe the right thing to do or what I should do, but like, I mean, I can't make that call.
What is the right thing to do?
No idea. Well, okay. So first of all, if you push the fat guy over, you're going to jail for murder.
Ignore that. That's
but you are like,
no,
it's murder.
No, push that. That's not really a fact.
How? In real life, you push a guy over, you're going to jail.
We're in a fantasy land where you can stop a train with a fat dude.
Yeah. Okay.
So in this place, I'm the mayor.
There's no jails?
Huh?
There's no jails? This sounds woo-woo to me, man.
There's no jails.
This sounds too woo-woo.
For whatever reason, nobody will ever know you did it. Because you're up on the platform behind, right? The people on the tracks won't.
Okay.
The fat dude's dead. Nobody will know. You have 0 chance of getting caught.
Yeah, I don't have FI PoLR like you. I can't do that.
Is non-action an action?
Also, yes, but also.
Okay. So by not pushing the fat dude, are you killing the 6 people?
Yeah, you're letting them die, negligently letting them die. Yeah, for sure. See, it's a problem, man.
No. I just.
All of your logic makes sense. I just still don't know what to do because it's not a.
Because FI.
Yeah, I don't have PoLR FI. I can't just ignore it.
FI is what's snagging.
FI can't resolve it. It's not a TI problem. I don't know. FE can't solve it.
You know, I don't feel like I'm missing out on a lot by not having FI. When I observe it, I can't imagine being FE PoLR. I can't imagine that. I think that would be a nightmare to not be able to understand, to have that sort of like a social handicap or something.
I think I have one too, though, just because it's inferior.
Well, and probably you do, but it's not as clear. FI. So I can be FI PoLR, and most people don't know about it.
Right, because you can fake FI with FE a little bit.
Yeah, for a while until somebody. Yeah. But Fe polar seems to. I mean, it flavors interactions in a way that Fi polar doesn't. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Although, like, I don't feel like it's missing from them. I feel like they're like free. It's like they're free from Fe. They don't need it. It doesn't.
It seems like it would make it hard to interact with people. I feel like it would just make life that much more difficult because we are social animals. Everything you do, whether it's work or school or whatever, most likely going to be a social environment. I just feel like that would be a difficult obstacle to overcome.
But they can also just TE with people. TE is also like, I'm going to TE against you. I'm going to throw you logic, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's not going to be how you're going to make friends in high school, right?
Yeah.
Fe polar isn't as much of a handicap as you might think.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they can just like, it's like I have any polar. It's not a handicap. I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
Yeah, I guess that would be true, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Probably also what I'm seeing is like that tertiary Fi. It looks sort of like masochistic or something to me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like you can see that sort of kind of indulging its own lament or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I do want to hear Rowan talk more about that. I think, of course, I would think that having SE polar has to be an issue.
So, like, here's what I think about polar functions. This is just what it's like just a theory right now, but like basically, if you're balanced on all of your other functions, then you're compensating for that polar function.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
But I think some functions are going to be more impactful to be polar in, I think, in different areas. I feel like Fe would be one that is more likely to impact you more frequently. As a comparison, Ni polar. Think about Ni polar though, because I think that people can be Ni polar and it doesn't impact them frequently, but when it does, it's like big.
Yeah. I'm just like I'm still confused how people can have TI polar. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense.
How can you exist without TI? Makes no sense to me. But I mean, people do it and they tie their shoes and they, they work and they're
dishonest.
Nice people.
It's like you're not. I
don't know.
I don't get that either.
Doesn't like. I know a lot of ENFPs and they're cool people and stuff, but I mean, how do you function? How does it work? Like it's got to be the same thing for any like SE. I mean, INTPs. How do INTPs work without SE?
Yeah, I don't. So as Nate Rasa,
yeah,
you know who that is? Oh yeah, you interviewed.
Yeah, I interviewed him and I did something on his podcast too. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, Nate's the homie, but he really has helped clarify ENFPs for me because he's, I mean, for a type that's not grounded in any ways, he's fairly level-headed.
That's true. Yeah,
and the fact that he has a podcast where he can just do like just listening to him kind of blah 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 has put a lot of. It's really helped me understand Fi and how Fi can work with it. Just understand that type.
I don't know. They're my conflictor type, right?
Yeah, they are. So
I've talked to a couple.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell me about conflictor types.
Okay. Well, no. I mean, what I was going to say is, how they interact in the world. You said I don't know how they interact in the world. I think that they are not meddlers or structurers, like you and I want to structure and move things, and they're observing and understanding. It's much more perceptive and less interactive, I think, as a mental space.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So from talking to them, they all tell me how they're just like living in uncertainty land, and they don't want the certainty. They like the uncertainty. They like to live in not knowing and speculating and never making a move because they don't know what's actually real, what actually will happen. It's weird. For me, from my cognitive perspective. And then sometimes I'll give one advice or something like that. They'll be like, if they're open-minded enough, if they're growth mindset enough, they'll take the advice and they'll be like, oh wow, I should listen to you more often. And I'm thinking maybe I should do the same with them, because I don't know what crystal ball they use, but they figure stuff out and they get stuff going. Like there's got to be something I can learn from them, right?
Yeah. They pick up on. There's something else they're picking up on. That's not nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is either.
I speak a completely different language.
But anyways, you were saying before I finished what I was saying, you were about to start something that you were saying, ESTP-ish stuff.
I think I said it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just how they live in uncertainty.
But it is a fascinating. It was really interesting listening to him. He did a podcast with Katie, ISFP, and she's the most talkative ISFP I think I've met, which is listening to the two of them talk about FI.
Oh wow!
Really helped sink it in, because I could never understand. It never made sense to me how FI and NE could work together, because to me FI is it's a personal conviction, a feeling for things, right? How can that be? How can you just pair those two things? Endless possibilities in a feeling for things. Like choose one or the other. Go, zoom in or zoom out.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's also your conflictor type, right? The INFP.
INFP is, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the whole just Delta Quadra in general is confusing to me. It's just
confusing.
Yeah.
But anyways, listening to them was really helpful, and it's
I got to check that out.
And it's good from it's good for me listening to things sometimes instead of being able to interact, because otherwise I don't learn shit because I'm too busy talking.
Yeah. That yeah, so how does NE pair with FI? Like how does that even work?
So I'm gonna butcher the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
But the way that I understood it and the way that he explained it is FI, if FI is a personal connection with people, is constantly evaluating who is in what position in your life. Everybody has a role or a place or a proximity, and where this person is. It really seemed like it is that's the focus, is who is this person and what slot are they into me.
Yeah, I definitely see that as well as one of the things that FI does. Yeah. The thing, okay, so I'm doing those definitions, right? And I'm going to a bunch of FI people. And the thing with FI is they're not really able to properly explain what they're feeling responsible for or doing.
Right.
They know what it is. They can't say it. It doesn't work with words.
Listen to the podcast that Katie and Nate put together. It was helpful.
So I got one. Let me see here. This is what I have so far, and it's been agreed upon. I'm gonna go to YouTube again. Yeah, this is us. This is what I have so far. It's not completely done, but
did you drop in the comments? It'll pop up in a second. Yeah. Fe polar doesn't mean you aren't capable of understanding. Okay, that's a fair point. And yeah, I guess it would make sense that people wouldn't care about their Fe if they're Fe polar, because why the fuck would they?
Yeah, it's useless. That's what I've noticed, that the polar function is just completely useless to you. You can make up for it with all the other functions. It'll look like they're even using Fe, just if they're using their other functions right. This is what I got so far.
Okay, so I think that the prioritizing and reprioritizing would be more of a delta component than a gamma. I think gammas are, once they establish it, they tend to be more fixed in it.
Oh, the reprioritizing. So what you were saying about like the people circles and stuff, where people are in the circles, that's the same thing. Yeah. It's prioritizing and reprioritizing people, right? Yeah.
And that's what ENFPs do.
Yeah. So like here it's more general. So it's not just people. It's like, I'm like my guitar better than you. I like my.
So Katie, an ISFP, by contrast, once she has made an FI decision, like it's preset.
Yeah. So no P, that's what you would call masculine FI.
But I guess I've always just assumed it's because it's with SE. Yeah. This SE is what it is. It's not what it could be. So once
SE changes. SE is always changing. That's the thing about SE. It's moving.
Yeah, but it's not. Change is.
It's like what's true right now is SE. I'll make a decision over SE.
Change isn't the objective.
Yeah, it's just what it is.
Right.
Yeah. So like this, they say it's masculine FI. So like this person likes Red Lobster since he was 2 years old, and that's it. It's done.
I got FI for Red Lobster. I like Red Lobster. So who have you talked to mostly deltas or gammas for this? Like is your
I talked to a couple ISFP. Actually, I talked to one INFP, and the others were ISFPs, two ISFPs. And the INFP was like not really helpful. So far it's just two ISFPs.
And they reprioritize.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Chucky?
Yeah, talk to Chucky. Yeah.
Raylan?
To who? Raylan? No.
Raylan.
No, I didn't talk to Raylan yet. No. I might reach out to her. Yeah. You know her? Yeah.
Yeah. I do. Well, you need some balance there. Then where did you get the reprioritizing part from? I'm surprised that you got that from only an ISFP sample size.
Oh yeah, I got it from ISFP. Yeah. I talked to Sarah ISFP as well. And there's a few more ISFPs that I can reach out to. I just didn't want to bother them too much, because like for them, answering this kind of thing is like, it's not easy. You got to be on good terms with them to be able to ask them, you know?
Yeah, you do. There's certainly a probationary period when you meet an ISFP.
Yeah.
There's with ISTPs too. It's the "Are you an idiot?" period.
You could talk to us right away, no problem. You might come out an idiot, but you could talk to us right away, and it's cool. I have no problems with idiots. You can be an idiot as long as you don't claim to be something else. That's all.
Once somebody's deemed an idiot, they got a hell of a time getting out of that designation.
I mean, like,
but it's normally right. You normally don't miss idiot apply somebody.
Even idiots can be right. Even a broken clock is right twice a day, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
You can still learn from an idiot.
But you shouldn't try to.
I mean, like, they got something figured out. I don't know. Trying to open my FE a little bit here.
Well, I mean, but you're fucking up your TI a little bit there or something. We can throw out some of this baggage.
Yeah, you can get rid of some of this.
No, not the words, not the words. I'm just like conceptually, I don't. You can just wholesale dismiss things or people or elements as being useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
True. Yeah. True or not true? That's not true. It's gone. Like astrology is completely dismissed.
Or even, and that's what I keep. That's back to CS Joseph. That's why I make these little videos, or was making these little videos like the sperm thing, instead of addressing like people. Well, what about this or that or the whole? Like, look, I don't need to address the whole system. All I need to do is point out some of these fatal fucking flaws, and you can know that if this dude is telling you this about sperm, you don't need to get something more complicated for him. He's already fucking up the basics.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wholesale dismiss that source. There are too many sources of information for you to have time to sort through the bullshit. You just have to wholesale dismiss some things. And
Yeah. No, yeah, that sperm thing was enough to completely discredit everything he's ever said and ever will say. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, you're right. I could probably learn something from there, but do I want to bother sorting through all the BS?
Yeah. And the answer is no, because there's a finite amount of time and resources in everybody's life. So you need to be prudent with it and just get the fuck out of some things.
Yeah, I'd rather go look for gold in a gold mine than in a coal mine. That's just it.
You want me to see if do you want another ISFP? I can go see if Katie wants to look at this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, bring Katie. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what she says. If she feels that's her FI. You're sure she's FI, yeah?
I think she's in the bath.
Cool.
She's in the bathroom with the radio on, so
yeah.
Unless she's taken a COVID-19, she's a
yeah. So, anyways, this is just on the axis of responsibility. I'm like FI is definitely a whole chapter in Jung's book. It's like it's huge, but like this is just if you refine it to what is it actually feel responsible for. That's what I'm trying to get down to here. It's like what can't you let go of? What would you feel like if you let go of? You're letting go of life.
So it's responsible. You don't. Is it an external obligation?
Yeah, it's like well, for you it's an obligation externally, yeah, but for her it's an obligation internally. Yeah.
Who are you responsible to? I might be getting hung up on words more than I need to with that. But.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's like, okay, you can stop breathing only for a certain amount of time before you have to start breathing again. You're responsible to breathe.
I never would have thought of it that way. I feel like responsibility is a social obligation, sort of.
Yeah. Well, like you're responsible to if it's to a social obligation, then you're responsible to a social obligation. But like you could be responsible to a function. I'm responsible to finish this beer that I opened.
You are responsible to that.
You see? Mm-hmm. But that could be a social obligation, I guess. I don't know.
Let me see the TI one.
TI? Oh yeah, that's a good one. This one I didn't have to go too far.
Megan Lavota's been doing the same thing. The functions. I helped her with the SET.
Oh really? Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I went to her as well for the FE. She helped me with that. I'm still working on it.
The hard thing for that will be finding ESFJs. There's just not ESFJs in typology.
I found one. Yeah, I found one. I asked one. She actually added to my thing, and I'm gonna wait on an ENFJ to confirm it.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yep. Drop me TE.
So TE, okay, I was worried you were gonna ask this. TE, I'm having a problem getting them to agree. I have two TEs, masculine TE and feminine TE, and they're just not agreeing, which is really funny because OP describes them as trying to find agreement, but they're the ones that aren't agreeing. I'll put feminine TE first because this is the one that seems really weird. Doesn't sound like TE.
Winston's mom, is that even legal? All right, feminine TE.
So far, I still got to ask more.
So we're all getting on the same page so that we can be an effective team. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But are we getting on the same page in like a rah, or like, okay, this is the information?
So like, I guess what they're looking for is just to get that success at the end. So whatever will get them to that success, but their success is really about collaborating on ideas, getting everyone grouped together on a common goal or common idea, and then going. I don't know. I'm not T. I can't.
That
really...
seems like it's almost more FE.
It does. Like, you're right. It does. Yeah, but Effie's got something different.
Did you put that up? You should put FE up too, because
yeah, this is not confirmed again. This is just the ISFJ added to it. It's not confirmed again.
So that looks like what TE is.
Yeah, that's masculine T. So for now, I'm gonna keep working on it. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
It looks like feminine TE looks like just an ambitious version of FE a bit to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I could see how.
So would you say that they could be spectrumed? Can you slide the TE down the line enough to where it turns into FE?
I don't know. I don't know because like it's still not. They're still responsible to logic. You still see their thinkers. That's the thing. You'll still see them thinking, but like when it comes down to the responsibility, what's behind the thinking, it's that. That's the driving force for their thinking. I put up FE there if you want to contrast it.
Yeah. I'm reading this FI stuff real quick. Rowan, thanks for the responses. It'll be maybe useful data. I guess I can't speak for him, but
yeah,
we're gonna. Where did you put FE there? So think about like cat or do you think cat's an FE? I guess I don't even know.
It was hard. It was hard. It was hard to type her at that one time I met her. She was doing something weird with logic. She was completely into thinking mode there.
I don't know that. I don't know that I think social cohesion. So when I think about EJs, Ian, both of them are goal oriented.
Yeah. Yeah.
First and foremost, they have a goal they want to meet.
Yeah.
The logic and the social dynamics are the vehicle, not the object.
So that's something that Megan Lavoda also said about FE. It's goal oriented, and so I had a different definition from her, just from her. And then when I talked to the ESFJ, she added this, a little bit of extra stuff. So here's what I had just from Megan.
You have a question
right here, just from Megan.
Okay.
I think no, logos is logic. No, what's ethos?
I don't know what logos and ego.
It's like a weird older type. I don't know, typology or way that we think.
Is it different from logic and ethics?
Ethos is ethics. Logos is logic.
I would assume so.
Yeah, and pathos is emotions and feeling. So I don't know. It's a 3 thing. Just looking it up. Sorry. Yeah, so that's the one that Megan put forward on her own. It took a while to boil it down to that, but that's what we got to. And then when I talked
that one came from Megan.
That one came from me working with Megan. Yeah.
Okay.
And then when I talked to the ESFJs, she added that stuff. I haven't confirmed or denied if it's true or not. If it's
the first one you put up looks like ENFJ, and the second one looks like ESFJ to me.
This one here is ESFJ.
That's for sort of from the hip. If I had to lump them, that's
right. Okay.
Yeah, I think that SFJs focus on the cohesion and assume that the good results will follow. If we have harmony, then we will have good.
That's exactly what she was saying. She said I should get rid of the mutual success component because the success is the cohesion. That is the success. And Megan was saying, no, success is always something else. You just need the cohesion in order to get there. So I'm gonna try to boil it down between the two.
To one.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to do the same thing with TE.
Oh man. My issue with what's hard for me is syncing up systems that are different but are both valid, like to meld this shit together, you've got to lose something that is and was valid in the process.
Yeah, but this is just for the responsibility axis. So if I wanted to say, what does FE like to do, then that's something different. What is FE good at? That's something different. What does FE feel responsible for? It's this.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it that much. I don't know. What? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not FE. I can't see anything in this that I agree with. But I'm not using FE as my dominant function. I'm trusting that Megan's FE, first of all, and I'm trusting that this other girl is definitely FE. But yeah.
Do you assume that? I don't know where I heard it. It was probably Dave and Shan. I think it was a superpowers video.
Okay.
They were talking about how. I guess I just remember the example of the TI DOMs. I can't remember which type. TI DOMs will refine and get a system and make something perfect and assume that the FE will follow because this is is that
that was they did an ISTP video on that. Yeah.
Okay. Did that resonate?
Yeah, and they did the clock book. Like, this is my book about clocks, how to do clock repair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, look, everyone, I made a book about clock repair. It's like, do we even need that? Like,
yeah,
where were you? Why do we care? Yeah,
that video really kind of lodged itself in my brain, and so they did one about tools, the NI versus SI. That one did too, and even though I have stronger SI as far as my capacity with it, I'm totally in an NI.
Yeah, you're using NI instead of SI in your top 4. So yeah, like,
well,
I got SI here. If you want, I can show you that one.
All right, toss it to me.
And this is maybe where you see where they look for tools. So it's the first part, I guess. This is one of the things that he who shall not be named had a problem with.
Oh, we can name Jack.
Right.
I'm just trying not to. I think that the beef is kind of a disservice to. It's not constructive.
It's
to
not
an observer who's not already familiar. And yeah, I just don't want to be in that, but we can for sure acknowledge it. Taylor, if you were to write, hold on, I got attention real quick. If you were to write down each model on a clear sheet of acetate, old school, lay those down. Which 4 temperaments Enneagram you see big picture? I don't understand what the question is.
She's got to follow up. Layers like an onion.
I wish Outback was open too. What models am I laying down?
She included astrology in there. You have to include astrology, the 4 temperaments, Enneagram, and then you'll see the big picture.
Temperaments like sanguine and all that shit.
Maybe there's the Kersey temperaments. There's that temperament. There's like OP temperaments.
The Captain Planet temperaments.
Yeah. So it's that first part. Assigning meaning to the physical world is what makes their tools valuable to them, and it's this particular tool.
So SI is primarily sentiment.
I guess you could say sentiment.
Because Jung, if I remember correctly, SI is basically SE, but then you push your subjective interpretation of SE into it, right? So it's like SE plus subjectivity. If SE is objective external,
yeah,
SI is the objective plus how I feel about it. And it's really how I feel about it. It kind of like it Venn diagrams over FI, it seems like to me almost. And so, it's different. It's homeostasis, and it's different from Jung. Socionics has a lot of differences from Jung, but it within itself, it's cohesive, and I like that. The different parts work together with each other. So,
so here's just the definitions for the lead functions, and I'm just taking it for people. I'm not trying to make it cohesive or work together, but they do kind of work together.
Okay, because I'm inclined to say that there's some sort of a harmony. There's a harmony, balance, homeostasis components for sure to SI, but I also recognize that that's a socionics influence, not a Jung one. So,
right. So this one is not Jung and it's not socionics. It's just people that have been typed, and like, so Jamie, for example, has been typed SI in socionics, and
she's SI and everything, like I'm SE and everything.
Right. So most of this came from her. So
okay.
I mean,
okay, then I take it. Then I buy it. We're good with
that. she agreed with it. She started this first part. I went to someone else to add the second part because she just saw the associate meaning to the physical world, and all the SI people I said like love that, but then one was like, yeah, but I'm also responsible for this extra part, so I added it, and to create and maintain reliable and comfortable systems and habits for daily physical life.
Okay, so that brings some of the socionics.
Yeah, and these are people typed with OP that added the socionics to it. Jamie didn't want the socionics parts.
Okay.
Funny, right?
The extroverted judging functions seem to be kind of the ones that need to be that you've got to work on.
Yeah. Because extroverted judging, they don't know who they are. That's what the whole thing is. They're like insecure and they don't know who they are or what they're worth or anything like that. It's you ask, and that's like the bane. Ask an EJ, who are you? Like, it's like their life's mission.
I'm so confused. Yeah, going down this rabbit hole. In day-to-day life, I lose track, like everybody does, of how fucking different people's experiences are.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I can't imagine living constantly in that sort of headspace.
Yeah,
it'd be so fucking weird. Everything would be weird. Winston's mom would be weird. Oh wait, she's weird. She's weird as fuck. Got ferrets and stuff. I don't know that. SI has herd mentality components. For sure.
I guess, because of safety. They like safety. Every SI person I've ever met is safety is their primary concern.
Yeah,
safety and health and safety.
Well, if we use the homeostasis definition of socionics, I'd be good at SI. Am I good at? Do you think I'm good at SI?
I think anyone can be good at anything based on how, like.
Answer the question.
I think you can be good at SI. I just don't think you try or want to or care.
But you think I have the capacity?
Yes, for sure.
You think I have the capacity to be good at FI?
I think you have the capacity to use all of your functions and compensate for it. For sure. You will look like you have FI if you use all of your functions properly.
So I've got the ability to fake it.
Yes. Like I have the ability to fake any if I use all my functions properly. But that's just my theory. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
so like if you're really some wizard with all your functions and had those wizard hands,
you're nothing.
huh?
Then you become nothing.
No, you'd be able to balance them properly. Like so you're using SE as your dominant, but you're balancing it with your NI, and then like you've attained whatever you can with your functions. Then it'll look like you're using FI, and someone might even type you as an FI dominant based on
No.
no.
I don't think so. No.
No.
I don't think that there's too much balance is imbalance. If I've got yeah. Because then you just lose your type distinction altogether. Then you're just nothing. A relative weakness is important. It's the light to the dark. You can't have a strength without having a weakness.
That's right. Yeah, that's the differentiation. But then you also have to. So like, there's like this idea where you can separate two things so that you have them separate, but then you can like bring them back together when they're separate. Like you're born. I don't want to be CSJ here, but
imbalanced. You just opt to be at this point in time.
You just found a balance with your imbalances. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You've come to terms with them or something, or integrated the shadow. You've integrated the shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm getting tired. I'm about to call it.
Winston has something to say about Jack. Yeah, I'm getting tired too. We can call it.
A few comments to hit first. I'm not rushing out. I'm just kind of pulling it in. SI is responsible for teaching lessons by way of attaching associations to past experience and behaviors. SI is anecdotal. I mean, public perception of SI covers a lot of fucking turf. Depending on who you ask, there's a lot of shit to refine there.
Yeah, and I think because like they're not as popular to an MBTI and people hate on it a lot, they can like everything they don't like about something, they can just shove it into SI and be like, that's SI.
I mean, and that's absolutely Annabelle Myers-Briggs's fault. Have you read her book?
No, I'm staying away.
The language she uses to describe perceiving functions is there's just no way to interpret it except for intuition is dynamic, sensing is basic. So it's really sloppily articulated. When you pulled the stop sign out so people could see. Are you talking about the speed trap sign? That sounds like a description of a TI thing.
Yeah. He was just, he was pulling a fast one. He was like changing axioms in the middle and that sort of. And that's something that someone who's not using TI won't catch. He was being really sloppy with the TI.
And that's what bothered me about that video because I know his TI is better than that.
Yeah.
It felt disingenuous to me. It was, love Jack.
I'm taking you at your word that he knows better.
But he should fucking know better. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in that video. This was very interesting, young gentlemen. We're not gentlemen. We're going to become savages now that civilization is coming to an end. We're starting a Mad Max gang. I don't know if you noticed my name is Mad Max with 3 M's because for the fuck of it. Thank you for observing. Don't let anyone breathe on your ferrets.
Thanks, man.
Be good.
Good time. Thank you for having me, man.
Yep.
You'll be on my show soon. So
yeah. Saturday?
It'll be cool.
Is it Saturday?
I don't know. Let me check. You're asking me schedule stuff.
Yeah, actually. I
have it here.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Saturday night for me, Saturday for you.
What time is it for me or somewhere over here that I can?
All right. It's 5:30 for me now, a.m. What time is it for you now?
10:30.
10:30.
It's 5:30 in the evening.
In the morning, man.
Bro, you're fucking whack.
So it's 7 hours difference.
Your sleep is more fucked up than mine.
So that's at 2 p.m. for you, I think.
Okay.
It's 9 p.m. for me.
We might want to move it up an hour. If that works. Let me double check.
Yeah.
You know what? Or we can actually
whatever. I'll message you if you want to delay it an hour, move it up an hour.
We can sign a lease that day, but the landlord can wait on us. Right now, with the economy, super fucking happy to be having a tenant move into his place with a job and shit.
Yeah.
Gold ticket. He can meet when I want to fucking meet. So. All right. Good night.
Peace, man. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Great time.